My dad taught me one code phrase to say on the phone if I was ever in trouble and told me never to ask why I'd need it. I used it for the first time when I was 19. The phrase was, "Can you bring my blue notebook?" That was it. My dad drilled it into me when I was 8. You say those exact words and I'll know. Don't ask why. Just remember it. I never asked. I figured it was a dad thing, overprotective, harmless. Then came the night I called him. I was at a party 2 hours from home, a guy named Trevor's place. My ride left without me. My phone was at 4%, and Trevor had locked the front door and pocketed the key, laughing like it was funny, while 3 of his friends stood between me and the hallway. I stepped into the bathroom, dialed my dad, kept my voice light. "Hey dad, sorry it's late. Can you bring my blue notebook?" Silence. Then, very calm, "Where are you, sweetheart?" I gave him the address like I was reading off a pizza box. Trevor was knocking on the door now. "Who you talking to?" "My dad. He's picking me up." "Nah, tell him you're staying." "I gotta go, dad. Love you. Keep the phone on. Don't hang up. Put it in your pocket. I'm 40 minutes out. Do exactly what they say until I get there." Nothing more. I did. I sat on that couch and smiled and laughed at jokes that made my skin crawl. Trevor kept refilling a cup. I wasn't drinking. His friend Marcus kept looking at the clock. At one point, Marcus said, "She's been on her phone." "It's dead," I said, and prayed the screen stayed dark in my pocket. 31 minutes. I counted every one. Then headlights swept the front window. Not one set. 4. Trevor peeked through the blinds and his whole face dropped. "Who the hell is that?" Doors slammed. Boots on the porch. Then the front door didn't get knocked on. It came off the frame. My dad walked in first, and behind him came 3 men I'd never seen. And I realized my dad was not just my dad. "Grace," he said, not looking at me, looking at Trevor. "Come here. Stand behind me." I moved. Trevor put his hands up. "Whoa, man. We were just hanging out. She's fine. She's..." "The notebook," my dad said quietly, "means she's not fine." Marcus bolted for the back. One of the men my dad brought was already there. In the kitchen, arms folded like he'd been waiting all night. Marcus skidded to a stop. "Sit down," the man said. Marcus sat. My dad walked the room slow. He picked up the cup Trevor had kept refilling for me, sniffed it, set it down. Then he looked at Trevor for a long time. "You put something in this?" No, I swear." My dad nodded at one of his guys, who pulled a small strip from his jacket, dipped it in the cup. It turned blue. The room went dead quiet. "I ran a unit that hunted men who did this to girls," my dad said, "for 22 years. You think a phrase and a phone call is the whole plan? The phrase is so I don't have to guess. So I don't lose the 4 minutes it takes to be sure. That's all it ever was. Insurance." Trevor was crying now. "I didn't do anything to her. Look. She's fine. Nothing happened." "Nothing happened," my dad repeated, because she remembered 11 years later. Because a scared 8-year-old kept it in her head for exactly this. He turned to me. "Grace, did you drink anything he handed you?" "No." "Good girl." He nodded to his men. 2 of them lifted Trevor by the arms. Marcus started begging. Doors were being checked, phones collected, a bag of pills found taped under the sink and photographed. My dad already had 911 on speaker, address given, calm as ice. "You're not police," Trevor said, panicking. You can't just..." "I'm retired," my dad said. "But those flashing lights coming up the street aren't." Red and blue bled through the blinds. "I made one call before I left the house. The notebook goes to them too." I finally understood. The phrase wasn't for him. It was for this. For the report already filed, the strip already turning blue, the pills already photographed, 4 squad cars pulling in behind 4 men who'd never once been late. My dad crouched down in front of me, the way he had when I was 8, and said the last part of the thing he'd never explained. "Now you know why I told you never to ask."